We all know this modern festivity, but few are aware of the origins of Halloween and the symbolism surrounding it. In this video, we'll delve into the roots and symbols of Halloween. Ultimately, we'll see that this celebration, often associated with death and witchcraft, celebrates life and renewal at its deepest symbolic level. It traces back to the Sumerians and the worship of the Anunnaki, the oldest deities venerated on Earth. According to the more orthodox views of the Church, Halloween, or the so-called Witches' Day, can be deemed dangerous. Through its clergy, the Church has expressed its opposition to such celebrations, labeling them as a dangerous glorification of terror and the macabre. It's common to find on websites, blogs, and Christian media channels that Halloween is originally a Catholic festivity. In this context, I'd like to inform those watching these videos from outside my home country, Brazil, that in Brazil, November 2nd is celebrated as the Day of the Dead. Here, many religious figures accuse Halloween of being a devilish celebration and claim it's an affront to the Catholic festivity which, according to them, predates Halloween. Traditionally, Brazil doesn't celebrate Halloween, although the holiday has started to gain popularity in recent years. They claim that Halloween is a contraction of All Hallows' Eve, which refers to the tradition of observing the Eve of All Saints' Day on November 1st, the day following the dreaded Witches' Night. While researching this topic for the video, I came across a Brazilian text rooted in Christian faith, but with a very narrow and orthodox perspective. Here's a part of what it says about Halloween. The devil always seeks to parody holy and sacred things. Thus, his followers, or those inspired by him, mark October 31st as a special day, because it precedes the Feast of All Saints on November 1st and the Day of the Faithful Departed on November 2nd. While Christians celebrate the Feast of Heaven, honoring all saints and then praying for the faithful departed, occultists celebrate the Feast of Hell on October 31st. Regardless of what Orthodox Christian faith proclaims, it's essential to clarify the true origins of Halloween. Centuries before Christ's birth, and therefore before Christianity's emergence, the Celts celebrated two sacred festivities around this date, marking their new year. One of them is called Samhain, meaning end of summer. These people recognized that, for the Northern Hemisphere, the cold would soon set in. They believed that the souls of the deceased drew nearer to Earth during this time. Thus, they offered food and gathered around firelight in costumes, intending to ward off evil spirits and await their beloved departed to seek warmth and light. Another celebration during this period is known as Beltane, or the Fire of Bel. Rooted in Celtic mythology, this festivity acknowledges the cycles of nature and the sacred masculine and feminine. It aimed to understand and celebrate the cosmic dance, the times of cultivation and harvest, and the sacred union of opposites represented by the god and goddess figures. It is therefore a celebration of the sacred, but it is also tied to fertility. Depending on the hemisphere, this festivity might be celebrated on May 1st or October 31st. The celebration marks the blossoming of spring and the emergence of a new era, marking the end of winter and the beginning of the season of flowers and warmth. As it's a festival related to fertility, it's customary to salute the fire, dance, and venerate the sacred god and his alchemical union with the sacred goddess. It's the merging of masculine and feminine energies that brings forth the cycle of time, harvest, and the sowing of the new year. For this reason, even today, many followers of this celebration symbolically perform the sacred marriage between the athame, representing the god's phallus, and the chalice, symbolizing the goddess's womb. While the celebrations of Samhain and Beltane trace back to the Celtic people, we must remember a well-known story from Sumerian mythology. The text is titled, "The Descent of Inanna to the Underworld." In this narrative, Inanna descends to the netherworld, the realm of the dead. Some versions suggest that Inanna went to the underworld to expand her powers and dominions over the realm of her sister, the Anunnaki Ereshkigal. the lady of the underworld and wife of the Anunnaki Nergal, the lord of the netherworld. Other texts suggest that Inanna descended to rescue her lover, the shepherd Dumuzi, known biblically as Tammuz. Passing through 7 gates and shedding 7 garments, goddess Inanna enters the underworld, abiding by a crucial rule. Once you enter the realm of the dead, returning to the living is impossible. Thus, Inanna pleaded with the Anunnaki Enlil, who denied her return. However, Enki managed to negotiate Inanna's return to the living world, provided a condition was met. Inanna had to offer someone to the realm of the dead in her place. Consequently, Inanna chose her lover, Dumuzi, who was taken to the underworld, while Inanna ascended back to life on Earth. The narrative surrounding Inanna, the Sumerian deity of affection and creation, served as a fertile ground for mythographers and poets to cultivate vividly sensual imagery and symbolism. Central to Sumerian spiritual ethos was the ceremonial union between Sumer's monarch and this enchantress of fertility, believed to be pivotal for the land's agricultural bounty, the prosperity of the realm, and the welfare of its inhabitants. The initial Sumerian sovereign to partake in this ritual was Shepherd King Dumuzi, who governed Erech, a significant urban hub of Sumer, during the early epoch of the 3rd millennium BC. Or so was the later prevailing narrative in Sumer. A particular poetic myth paints a tableau of the deity choosing Dumuzi as her consort, their sacred communion, an act believed to usher in a flourish of greenery around. The divine consort's solicitation for milk from her shepherd partner, and her eternal pledge to safeguard the palace, termed as the House of Life. The verse unfolds with a monologue by the goddess, heralding her selection of Dumuzi for the godship of the land, a divine status bestowed upon the king through nuptial with the goddess, aligning with her progenitor's desires. I cast my eye over all the people called Dumuzi to the godship of the land. Dumuzi, the beloved of Enlil. My mother holds him ever dear, my father exalts him. As the poetic narrative advances, it describes the goddess indulging in a bath, cleansing herself with soap, draping herself in her unique garments of power, and summoning Dumuzi to her sacred abode of prayers and hymns to be seated joyously beside her. His proximity ignites a fervor within her, compelling her to craft a hymn for her vulva, likening it to a horn, to the boat of heaven, to the nascent crescent moon, to barren land, to an elevated field, to a mound, concluding with an outcry. As for me, my vulva, for me the piled high hillock, me the maid, who will plow it for me? My vulva, the watered ground. For me, me the queen, who will station his ox there? In response, the words echo, O lordly lady, the monarch will till the soil for you. The monarch Dumuzi will till the soil for you. With joy resonating, the deity retorts, Till my vulva, man of my essence, post-cleansing her sacred lap, the duo unite, and vegetation burgeons around them. Or, as the poet articulates, by the monarch's lap stood the ascending cedar. Plants soared high beside him, grains soared high beside him, gardens thrived abundantly beside him. The poet then elaborates, in the abode of existence, the abode of the sovereign, his consort rejoiced with him. In the abode of existence, the abode of the sovereign, Inanna rejoiced with him. Once contentedly nested in King Dumuzi's abode, the goddess voices a request and extends a pledge. The request is for milk and cheese from Dumuzi's sheepfold. Turn the milk golden for me, my spouse, turn the milk golden for me. My spouse, I shall savor fresh, milk with you, wild bull. Dumuzi, turn the milk golden for me. My spouse, I shall savor fresh milk with you. Let the goat's milk flow in the sheepfold for me, fill my sacred churn with cheese. Lord Dumuzi, I shall savor fresh milk with you. Her pledge is to safeguard her spouse's sacred stall, seemingly a symbolic reference to the king's palace. My spouse, the splendid granary, the sacred stall, I, Inanna, shall guard for you. I shall oversee your house of existence. The gleaming marvel spot of the realm, the dwelling where the destiny of all realms is determined, where humanity and all creatures are directed. I, Inanna, shall guard for you. I shall oversee your house of existence. The house of existence, the granary of enduring life. I, Inanna, will guard for you. The jubilation of the Dumuzi, Inanna sacred marriage, originally perhaps a local observance in Erech, where Dumuzi was sovereign and Inanna was the guardian deity, evolved over centuries into a delightful national celebration. Herein, the king of Sumer, and subsequently of Sumer and Akkad, symbolically stepped into Dumuzi's shoes, embodying his mystical avatar or incarnation. The precise timeline of this transformation remains elusive, likely transpiring during the third quarter of the third millennium, as Sumerians increasingly embraced a national identity. However, as of the present day, descriptive details of this nationalized version of the ceremony only emerge with Shulgi of Ur, who ruled at the cusp of the third millennium's end. The mythological account of Inanna's descent highlights a cyclical time where either the god or goddess is in the underworld, representing death, renewal, harvest, and the balance of universal masculine and feminine forces. It's important to note that from this account, the goddess Inanna is recognized as the first mythological tale of resurrection, as mentioned in the book by historian and Sumerologist Samuel Noah Kramer. History begins at Sumer. To clarify, Inanna was worshipped by various cultures around the world who venerated the same goddess of love, war, and fertility. Ishtar, Esther, Astarte, Eostre, Astaroth, Ostara, and the mythological goddess of love in Roman mythology, Venus. The connection between the Beltane festivities, Halloween, and the celebrations of the resurrection of the goddess of love and fertility is undeniable to any keen observer. It was for Ostara that eggs were painted during the Peshad, a very ancient festival predating Jewish Passover and Christian Easter. It's the fertility of the cosmic egg and the cycle of time that ancient cultures revered. For this reason, Halloween and Easter seem interconnected when we observe the warm and cold periods in each of the planet's hemispheres. The transitions from cold to warmth, from solstice to equinox, are deeply tied to the life cycle of each of us. In the birth and death of each day, in the cycles of systoles and diastoles, in the beats of our heart, in inhalation and exhalation we find our human nature. And what about the trick or treat? Well, these symbols are more recent in our history and also represent duality. Pinpointing the origin of this tradition is challenging as it intertwines with Christian tradition and other cultures. Most commonly, candies and costumes are associated with the Samhain festival. From my perspective, whether you're Christian or follow any other belief, have fun, dress up, and enjoy your candies. Inevitably, as time, years, and ages pass, we'll become one of those skulls wandering around, seeking the warmth of the fire in the comfort of those who remain. I must caution truth and knowledge seekers who come to this channel to look beyond appearances and religious biases. No sacred celebration is superior or inferior to another. People need to understand that they can practice their faith and allow others to practice theirs without being labeled as devil worshippers or hellbound. Did you enjoy the video? Hit the like button, leave your comment, check your subscription to the channel, and choose your next video from the ones that follow.